Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because you got to remember that Carol still is that motherly figure. She is still holding the group together. Now, she has turned into quite a badass, and I mean, there's no denying that. But I feel like this part was worth mentioning because they opened up the episode with this, and it was for a reason, to keep things pretty short there. But yeah, so Carol baking cookies for Tobin, kind of rocking the boat a little bit, and I'm going to get into that in just a moment as to why I feel like that part is a little bit important. So moving on to Rick and Morgan's confrontation in the church about killing Negan's compound, the Saviors. Morgan is still set in his ways of not killing people, that there's another way around things other than killing people. And, Rick doesn't really see it that way. Morgan wanted to go and have a talk with the Saviors, but let's be honest, Negan's compound, Negan's team, Negan's gang, whatever you want to call them, they're not really the people that are going to negotiate. There's no way, and there's no way you could trust them. So, I just feel like that was worth mentioning in that respect. Now, moving along to Carol and Tobin's kiss. It just seems like nowadays everybody's kissing. Tara and the girl that's the doctor, I forget her name, they even kissed. I figured I'd mention that. But Carol and Tobin's kiss is now, I guess, like a big thing because everyone thought that Carol and Daryl were going to become a thing. But it looks like Tobin is getting Carol's heart nowadays. But whatever. So then moving on to Abraham wanting to leave Alexandria and finally breaking things off with Rosita. I guess maybe to start something with Sasha. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. I don't know if that's a thing. I really don't know. But it's something that happened and it's worth mentioning. So then Andy from Hilltop returning the head to the Saviors just as a ploy to let Rick's group get in there, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. So yeah, Andy from Hilltop returning the head to the Saviors, which was actually a pretty funny moment because the guard from the Saviors actually picked up the head and was dangling it around and making it talk like a puppet, and that was kind of weird, I guess, to say. Shout outs to Timothy Birch and Jeremy Shipman. I didn't forget about you. Just got to finish this list. Then, of course, Rick's group attacking Negan's compound. Just totally brutal military style. A lot of action in this episode, to say the very least. I wish I actually had more pictures to show other than the one you see on screen. But yeah, so then moving on to Rick's group killing the Saviors in their sleep when Heath and Glenn were going into the rooms and literally just driving knives into the heads of the sleeping members of the group. So, it was definitely something pretty interesting in that respect. You could definitely see how it really affected both Glenn and Heath when they were actually doing that. So, in my opinion, it was definitely worth mentioning because it was an emotional moment. And then Abraham and Rosita's confrontation in the hallway with the Savior compound member, who then pulls the alarm, which definitely really got things going. Rosita really stepped up in that one. When Abraham ended up knocking him into the wall, Rosita stabbed him like 2 or 3 times in the stomach, which ended up taking him out. And then also we have Father Gabriel really stepping up to the plate and gaining some confidence when he shot a Savior member out in the grass. The Savior was he was just talking shit, saying how there will be blood and no one's safe. And then Father Gabriel basically reciting some lines, I guess, from the Bible, and took him out. Looked down the scope of the rifle, took him right out. So, finally, I guess a question was, who was the guy on Daryl's motorcycle at the end of the episode? Because at the end of the episode, we end up hearing we end up hearing a woman's voice saying that Maggie and Carol are now her prisoners. So we don't really know what's happening. And the guy on the motorcycle, I guess, was just another Savior member who ended up riding out trying to steal what's his name's Daryl's motorcycles, because Daryl roughed him up quite a bit, and that was pretty much it. But yeah, those were 10 things that happened in this episode of The Walking Dead. Definitely an action-packed episode from start to finish, I would say. And overall, pretty awesome. I mean, I don't really have any actual complaints about the episode in particular. Tell me what you guys thought in the comments